Hello everyone, Enchanted Emerald. This is Melissa bringing you a reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the dates of August 2nd through August 9th, 2025. Today we are using the Astrology Answers deck for this reading, and what comes up for us is the Page of Pentacles, the Magician in reverse, and the Hanged Man in reverse. Typically the Hanged Man is upside down and filtering in new ideas, seeing things from a different perspective, but this coming in the reverse, just really giving us an indication that maybe you've taken that time to kind of pause and reflect on things, and now it might be more of a time for you to start to take some action. And so I feel like Gemini at this point in time could really be feeling like a bystander in their own life, really from the outside, standing on the outside, looking in, right? Feeling as though everything is out of control, nothing is in your control, and almost as if you feel like you cannot achieve the thing that you're hoping to achieve. But the answer here is that we have to get back into a place and a headspace where we understand that we are absolutely in control of what is happening to us. I feel like you could be working with a fixed sign or dealing with a fixed sign. So that's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And so these fixed signs typically have a lot of grounding energy. And I think that in the past, this has been a really good source of stability for you, connecting with these individuals. But I feel like this is something that's bringing a little bit of a hiccup into your experience right now, where you're not quite sure what to make of it, but you're not necessarily seeing eye to eye with that person. And so it's almost as if you have to kind of take a step back there and like look at everything from all of the angles. Because I really feel like ultimately you're really trying to do what is right or what you feel is fair, right? And it's a sense that there's a lot of temptation around you, that you're feeling ambivalent or conflicted, really wanting a different outcome than what you're seeing, the results that you are seeing. But again, be mindful that you control the circumstances do not control you, right? And so you have to take that active role in changing things. So I get the sense that you might be going to war with yourself, so to speak, dealing with a lot of energetic blocks. And when I tap into that energy, I feel like a brick wall. It's almost like you're hitting a brick wall. It's a complete dead end, right? And this could also, it could be like blocked emotions, right, that are coming up, but it could be a result of kind of dismissing emotions a lot in the past, and maybe as a result even of having your emotions kind of being weaponized toward you, right? So you don't necessarily want to show emotion, and then when you do show emotion, perhaps this individual, it could have been that Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius, is kind of reflecting back to you that emotion that you had not wanted to share or not wanted to feel or acknowledge. And then when it does come up, it's almost like they weaponize that in terms of blaming your behavior or your actions because of those emotions, right? It's just a sense that it's being used against you anyways, but it's really ultimately a way for that person to kind of create a diversion, right? They don't necessarily want to take accountability for their part in things. And so it's almost like you start to almost immediately hear excuses from this person because they don't want to be held accountable. But ultimately, like when you're in the middle of that, you're immersed inside that relationship or that dynamic. It's really difficult because maybe this person is set in their ways, maybe you are set in your ways, but being in that, it really changes you. It changes how you view relationships, and it changes you at your core in terms of how you're love that you're expressing is reflected back to you. And so it's a lot to take on, and it really is something that has to be worked through to come out on the other side of things. I think that you're at a space now where there could be a blank canvas for you to kind of create all that you desire at this time, which is really good. I get the number 0 kind of coming in with that. So 0 being like a starting point, 0 being like you being at one with the universe, setting those intentions. It's like a moment to pause and reflect from all of the changes that kind of culminated into this transformation. And now it's like, where do we go from here? Because you do have a lot of possibilities ahead of you. And I think that for you, it could be really important that you have tangible results in terms of going forward, or being able to like measure up, having this relationship or this new circumstance, this new job, right, really measure up to your ideals, right? You would like to have some sort of progress that you can actually see. You can measure it, you can feel it, you can see it, right? Perhaps it's more money, right? Those kind of things, you really like that. And I think that I don't necessarily know that it's something that you would initiate on your own because of all of these changes, right? But I think that this could be forced upon you, right? Where there's extenuating circumstances, and I think that you do get a lot of grace from people, and I think that that's more because you have similar views, right? And your support people do kind of see eye to eye with you, even if you're not necessarily seeing eye to eye with everybody. You do have some understanding, and they give you grace. And so understanding the why behind what you're doing is important, right? For you in pressing forward, but also for them, because they understand why you may feel the way that you do or have the viewpoint that you do, right? So when I say that a situation could be forced upon you, perhaps you lose a job, or perhaps you have a breakup, right? Like these are things that can kind of come in with this energy. And it's not something to feel sad about, right? Like I feel like, okay, yes, feeling sad would be a valid feeling working through all of this with this energy. But I think that it's about coming to grips with the fact that to everything we do, and for every reason we have to do those things, right, there's always going to be some degree of risk that we have to live with, right? Because we aren't living up to our full potential if we're completely avoiding challenges and we're not putting ourselves out there, right? So the first thing is to believe that it's possible. I get an energy coming in for you, Gems, that it's really great. It's like turning the impossible to the possible. And I love that. And so you could start to maybe stand up for yourself and speak your truth. And I just feel like it's weird. I just get this sense that somebody will be like staring blankly back at you, almost as if they don't understand, or they're like in complete awe that it's happening, right? Where you're like voicing your concerns, but you're like done. And I get chills with that. You are done. It's like this cannot happen any longer, and you are not here for it. You're not here for the excuses. So no more excuses. Big energy coming in with that. And so as you move through this, it's really important to try to connect with that fire element, right? To help to empower yourself. We're talking about our solar plexus, right? And I think that patchouli essential oil could also be very good for you right now, very grounding, to help to dampen the anxiety that comes in with this, but then also help you to turn that negative into positive, right? And so centering yourself a bit. And so I see the number 10 then coming in with the energy that is coming in for you. And so your role is to try to define what tasks you need to complete and see it as your contribution to the whole. So like really looking at the big picture. And so if you see the angel number 10, it's also a signifier that there is a cycle in your life that is coming to an end. So not just a season, not just a chapter, but like a full cycle. I've seen repeated lessons coming in with this actually for you. And so you could feel like you have been pushed to the limit and you're tired of the hassle and you just don't care either way anymore. And so this is a moment to kind of reflect, right? To pause and reflect and really sharpen your focus on these lessons that you've had from the past, everything that has culminated up until this point, and then this is your chance to kind of do things differently. So know that everything that you desire is within reach, and this is a time for power moves for you. So that's why that solar plexus is so important for you right now. I could see you like hitting the pause button to unpause, right? To start to move forward. I can see that happening, but your power moves coming in with this is really about focusing on your intent, right? I see an arrow coming in. So this is like you possibly going on the defense. Be careful and, be mindful not to attack, right? We don't want to verbally attack anybody. The power moves can come in quiet for you, right? This quiet resistance that's been building within you. It's about your timing of this, right? And it's about you reading between the lines. And so when you're able to decipher what somebody is saying without them saying it, and then in that quiet moment of reflection, you are able to kind of like interject this joke or sarcasm, like this witty quip, right? And so it lands perfectly if you can get it timed right. I can see that totally happening where you catch somebody off of guard. And so just a quiet opposition to what is happening. Use your leverage. That could also be another power move for you. And even if you have to, like pulling rank. But above all, gems, it's important for you right now to stay confident, and you know that you have the ability to dominate when necessary. So, but I see that on the other side of this, you'll be feeling more and more empowered in no time. So great read here for you. I do so hope that this resonates. And as always, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe so you are in the know of all of the new readings that are posted. And as always, if you feel as though there is anybody that could benefit in your life that is a fellow gem that would appreciate hearing this lesson or this reading, then please do share. And as always, I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Take care.